everybody. My name's Scott Shields. I'm actually running for governor of California. I filed my paperwork. You can go to cryptogovernor.com and you will see the information on me. I'm here today with Falun Dafa practitioners. I became acquaintances of them in 2018. And so I'm friends of, and then I did start to practice myself as well in terms of understanding what the teacher of Falun Dafa was teaching. And it became very clear to me that this oppressed group is something everybody needs to know about. So as friends of Falun Dafa, I'm wearing this today. I'm out here in full support of their teachings and their right to be who they are with their spiritual practice. In China, they can't. This group is the one that's been persecuted more than anybody for 25 years in China. And we're started to identify that Marxism is really a mind virus, and it leads to communism, which is the cancer. We've been talking on this now for probably over a year and identifying the truth of this. Marxism, atheism is a religion. It is a belief system. Now, in that religion itself, the atomist, which is where atheism actually started back in the 5th century before Christ, atomists discovered atoms and material, and they started to look and discover things, but they weren't Marxist. They weren't class warfare. They weren't class divide. They weren't evil people. They worked with the deities and the clergy to try to create something better in life. Now, what's happened over time is that the Marxists, once Marxists got a hold of this, Karl Marx and Engels in England, they basically created atheist Marxism, not atheist atomist or atheist humanist. Many atheists are humanists as well, and they have family members that are spiritual or part of a religious organization, and they were raised right and wrong based on that, and they weren't raised with kitchen table lineage of atheist Marxism and or in schools and or at work and or in politics and leadership and businesses that apply this practice, this religion, the religion of atheist Marxism. It is a sect of atheism. And so this identifier is very important for Californians, because my candidacy is based on vote the candidate, not the party. Okay? The Democratic Party in California is basically like the Chicago Democratic Party. And everybody knows what the Chicago Democratic Party is. But think about this. California is as wide as Iowa to Michigan down to Louisiana. It's many states, different people, different Christianity, from Baptists to Mormons to Catholics to Methodists to Protestants, also Jewish, also Islamists, also atheists. And the Chicago, think about California being controlled, all of that section, all of Iowa and Michigan, and all the way down to Louisiana being controlled by Chicago Marxist politicians. It wouldn't work out too well. And that's really what's happened in California. So vote the candidate, not the party. Republicans have their own issues as well at the top level in California, as they're maybe more similar to the Louisiana Baptist in their Christian belief, not being Baptist, but in terms of that doctrine. And you're not going to get people in Iowa or Missouri who are Protestants or Methodists to want to vote for the Baptist in Louisiana as well. So what we have to do is decentralize our own selves and thinking, because we're one state with 40 million people. And so we have to decentralize our thoughts. And the only way to do that is to vote the candidate, not the party. You have to look at what the solutions are that I'll be presenting with my basically executive management team that I'm bringing in. And they're very, very good, very talented, very smart. And so it's not really voting for me. I'm doing this, I'm bringing in the top specialists in theology, top in CS, computer science, top in health, like Bobby Kennedy, Make America Healthy Again. That's a good thing. And Democrats, how can you not be for that? It's a no-brainer. And then Trump, obviously, if you're MAGA, you're going to vote for me. We want peace in the world. Trump's fighting for peace. So MAGA Republicans are with me. Bobby Kennedy Democrats are with me. Ones that are socialist or communist or green, communist, or socialist, probably should go over to those parties and leave the Democratic Party. But that's up to the Democratic leaders to do that. They chased Bobby out, which was a big mistake, in my opinion. Bobby could have actually been the governor of California. It would have been a good thing. Instead, I'm here running based on a lot of his principles and ideals as a traditional liberal, but also I have a lot of conservatism in me as well in terms of the MAGA aspect. We need to make America great again, and because we feed the world. Capitalism feeds the world. Communists will say capitalism is evil. Marxists will say capitalism is evil. Capitalism is not a political system. It's an economic system derived from the freedoms derived from America's ideals, and it's fed the world. Sins and charity, so to speak. We've given money to all the theocratic leaders, all the socialist leaders, all the communist leaders. Capitalism is what has given them prosperity, while they tell their citizens that capitalism is evil. That's atheist Marxists do that. Islamists don't even do that. They only do it because they've been mind-napped by the Marxists. I want you to ask, when I say that, I want you to think about this. If you're a Christian, you don't go to a mosque and study Islam, eat too. If you're a Falun Dafa practitioner, you don't go to a Christian church and study Christianity too. If you're a Hindu, you don't go to an Islamist temple and study Islam. If you're Jewish, you don't go to the temple, you don't go away from the temple and study the temple and also study Islam. So how in the world do people that are spiritually inclined to search for the religious truth, whether it's Islam, whether it's Hindu, whether it's Buddhism, whether it's Taoism, whether it's Falun Dafa, whether it's Christianity, or whether it's Judaism, how in the world can you also be aligned with the religion of atheist Marxism? That's the problem. Atheist Marxists go in and grab people who are spiritual and teach them away from their spirit to close down their consciousness. That is the big issue here. This is what we have to stop, and we call it demarxify. So if you say demarxify yourself, so demarxify.com goes to the website, my governor website as well. And so one of the key things we have to do in California is if you're a spiritual person, or you go to a church, or you go to a temple, or you go to a mosque, okay, or you're an atheist atomist, which is science, okay, or you're an atheist humanist, like I probably know a lot of people in my family and friends because I was with PETA. PETA stands for People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. There were a lot of atheist humanists there, not atheist Marxists. Okay, it's a big difference. So you can be in the sect of atheists, you can be a believer of non-belief, and be in the sect of atheist atomist and atheist humanist. But if you're an atheist Marxist, you're in class warfare, you're divide, you're conquer. Your whole desire is to get rid of people who are spiritual and the belief of spirit, not get rid of them physically, but get rid of their spirit inside them, which is actually kills you. When you lose your spirit, you lose everything. You're made up of 4 different things: your autonomy, your chemistry, your energy, and your spirit. That's the 4 principles, as a doctor in New York taught me, and I'm going to be introducing a lot of people to him during my campaign. Very, very important guy to explain this. Marxists want to eliminate the spirit. When you eliminate the spirit, you're not this, and this is about as beautiful as you can get. If you're a human being, even if you're an atheist atomist or an atheist humanist, you can love what these people and this practice is all about. It is a humanist practice, and they're the most persecuted people in China for over 25 years. So vote for me for governor. You'll be learning more about me. Thank you, and go from there.